All right, we are here with War 6, and for bans we have Quake, Kingpin, and Apocalypse. All right, Boss Island, we've got a Misty Knight. You can go with Corvus and Magneto, probably even Killmonger. Mangog, we've got Mr. Negative Magic, Quicksilver. Thing, you've got Black Cat, Falcon, and any other bleed champ like Fury. Immortal Abomination, got Warlock, you've got Archangel, can even use Vision. Scorp, pretty funny, you can take with Immortal Abomination or Diablo. Hyperion, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Symbiote Supreme, Quicksilver. Cersei, you've got Anti-Venom and Symbiote Supreme, and Rolk. Could just get interesting with Rolk. And then Bishop, Archangel, Kitty Pryde, and War Machine. Section 2, 1 through 3 on the way out. You've got Skrull, you can take it with Null or Cosmic Ghost Rider. Path 1, you could go with Omega Sentinel and try her for Terrax, but you could also just use any of the Sick and Tired champs on that node since they'll be heal blocked. So Sunspot, Null, Buffet really doesn't matter, and Reinvigorate won't trigger the unblockable since as long as you can keep the debuffs up. Path 2, probably just go Human Torch for Chavez there, and then Mole Man for Void. Path 3, Cosmic Ghost Rider or Null, or a bleed option for Surfer. 4 through 6 on the way out, you've got Immortal Hulk. I would probably strictly go Warlock there, or Falcon without ever knocking him down. There is a conduit bug where if the conduit debuff gets shrugged, it actually creates a permanent healing for all attacks, regardless of energy or physical base. So Falcon, don't knock down. Penny on the way in, Magneto, and if you've got a Gallon available, I'm pretty sure he'll do well there with the immunity to Power Snack. Path 4, kind of a risky Warlock fight against Claire, but I probably wouldn't worry too much about it. Once she gets maxed out on charges, there's the armor up to nullify. But yeah, probably any bleed immune without many buffs for Claire, and just watch the power gain, but then a Warlock for Havoc there. Path 5, Mr. Negative, Kitty Pryde, Human Torch as well, but you would need 2 Nova Flames, so you might want to double up or just be smart about not doubling up, like not having 1 Human Torch take both. And then Path 6, you can go with Null or Human Torch for Mordo, and then for Apocalypse, I would go Nimrod or Cap Sam. And if you use Omega Sentinel, go ahead and bring in a synergy with Betsy, Captain Britain, so that you actually remove prowess. 7 through 9 on the way out, Gore, Rintrah, or Hood, going to be your easiest. Symbiote Supreme if you've got plans for mini bosses. And then on the way in, Doom, I would go with Thing or Magneto with Max Pacify. 7, Warlock for Domino. I'm not sure if Nimrod knocks her out fast enough. And then Magneto or Mr. Negative or Magic for Dragon Man. And then Path 8, pretty easy. Arcus, you got Doom, you've got Rintrah, you got Hood, you've got, any Mystic workaround option there. And then Path 9, Nebula actually does quite well. You can ignore One Eye Open when you build the Special 2, or when you get to Special 2, and just parry and go to town. And then you'll knock out Toad before he becomes a problem with stunning you, since he is duped. Your other options, probably Ant-Man for Mojo, and then Omega Sentinel for Toad. And then going back 1 through 3 in section 2 on the way in, we had a Quicksilver, Null, since he is sick and tired and can prevent unblockable. would probably be your best option since he also prevents evade. So just a parry heavy strategy there, spamming special ones. Your other option is probably to use a buffet immune champion. That way you don't have to worry about unblockable since his evade is very predictable and you can throw it into a cooldown. Kingpin, or sorry, not Kingpin, King Groot. I would probably use Rindraw or Symbiote Supreme or Cosmic Ghost Rider. And then Null, you can use Cosmic Ghost Rider or Shang-Chi, maybe even Jabari Panther. Section 1 through 3 on the way out, Mephisto, probably go with Kitty Pryde or Human Torch. Just with Human Torch, you need Nova Flame. And I would not knock him down regardless of who you use because, again, the conduit bug with shrugging a debuff leads to constant healing. So that node does have masochism. Path 1, Man-Thing, pretty easy. You can either bring a poison immune or you can use someone who's nullify immune like Overseer or Mr. Negative. And then Magneto there. You can go with a sick and tired champ and just bring a white Magneto pre-fight. Or you can go with someone like Omega Sentinel and rely on just the heal block debuff. Again, a white Magneto pre-fight. Path 2 there, Sauron, I would use Nimrod or Cap Sam, and then Korg, Omega Red, white Magneto, plenty of options for Korg. Nimrod there, you can get away with Null, you can use Hulkling, Gallon as well. And then 4 through 6 on the way out, Kitty Pryde, Nimrod, Omega Sentinel, and Cap Sam. Path 4 there, you can use pretty much anyone. I wouldn't say anyone. Just have a good player against Weapon X. We had a Null ticket, but you could use Omega Sentinel or Nebula or Nimrod. There are plenty of options for him. It's just going to be on the player. And then Maw, Ant-Man's really the only buff immune, can't gain a buff champion outside of Titania that's available. But he doesn't counter the node. At least he doesn't hard counter the node. So you just have to be aware that parry is not going to be reliable, which is fine against a non-contact fighter. The other option could be to use Omega Sentinel, or since she has tracking and can bypass miss, or using someone like a Shrugger or a Cleanser like Jabari Panther and taking your risk with getting him down as fast as possible. Path 5, Warlock would likely work for the whole thing. Probably never knock Killmonger down and hope that he has willpower. And if not, eventually knock him down and use a special 3. And then Blade is pretty straightforward. Or Kitty Pryde for all of 5. Path 6, any counter to Tigra, Immortal Abomination, Human Torch, Mr. Negative, all solid options. 7 through 9 on the way out. You've got Sasquatch. You can use Immortal Abomination or Human Torch. Path 7, Human Torch or Kitty Pryde or Omega Sentinel with a white Magneto pre-fight for Longshot. And then Archangel or Omega Red, not Omega Sentinel. Omega Red for Longshot, and then Omega Red or Archangel for Kingpin. Sorcerer Supreme, again, pretty standard, Human Torch, Mr. Negative, Immortal Abomination, and then Path 9, Cosmic Ghost Rider for the whole thing. I'm sure Penny could work. It would just get interesting with Hulkling, but at least you wouldn't have to worry about backing off on which phase. And I actually think if you take that Hulkling, you're better off with an unduped Cosmic Ghost Rider. Then you don't end up nullifying Indestructible and adding 3 seconds to its timer. So that's defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so War 6, we have one of the made in Brazils. I'm taking in White Magneto, Mr. Negative, and Omega Sentinel, and I have Path 1 in both sections and a mini-boss on Boss Island. White Magneto, although rank 3, only came in for 2 White Magneto pre-fights. I actually end the war with 1 extra, and I'll talk about why I don't put it on my final fight. But Path 1 here should be pretty straightforward, but I had 3 fights of my 5 this war that got pretty interesting, whether it be my own fault or what I felt like might be input issues. Who knows? I do restart my game before every fight, at least every set of fights. If I go from one fight to another and I left the first fight with really bad input issues, I'll actually quit out and restart. But that does not happen often. Usually it's near the end. Anyways, Manthing here, super simple, super straightforward. Mr. Negative fight. We're gonna combat regen since it is that easy, and just looking to save health potions for Mr. Negative's fights later. So we're gonna parry heavy 3 times, evade counter after the 3rd. That'll put us at 9 dark energy. And then I'm gonna go right back into parry heavy after doing a combo off the evade counter. And we're gonna parry heavy again 3 times. And here I decided to bait out the special 1. I recognize that another parry will put me at 10, so I do that. I evade counter, I combo into special 2. This is just to make sure there's no one phased, and then he ticks away. So we're just letting him melt on his own. I'm gonna evade counter if he had come at me, but he threw special 1. So far, war's going how I expected. White Magneto pre-fight here on Magneto. I'm not going to place the heal block. What I had planned on doing was to immediately parry heavy. That'll trigger the global, and that'll switch my weapon and eat up masochism so that I can place heal block right away. So that part of the plan, perfect. The thing about that is this node is masochism, and there's no way around it, but that would actually cause the constant healing with every attack. So now I have to make sure I keep heal block up the entire fight. And I focused too much on trying to place plasmas with special 2. And I realized that about halfway through this fight with how long it was taking, I kept thinking, hey, I have to trigger masochism to make sure that I keep the heal block that I have and that I can place incinerates when I throw a special 2, when I should have just been focusing on hitting Magneto in the face with light ending combos so that I paused the already heal block debuff that I have active. So there are times in this fight where we lose it pretty quick. I have to trigger masochism and then get the heal block back up. We actually even get pushed to special 3 and we think, hey, special 2 is not a good idea to place the plasmas. Let's go ahead and use special 3. And it's after that point that I just go, forget it. Let's stop worrying about the plasmas. Let's just worry about keeping 1 heal block active, and let's just punch him into the ground. And that ends up being the game plan. There's all the healing. That one's obviously from the regen buff, but you can see with my attacks too, even though they are mediums and energy based, I believe, he's healing when the heal block isn't up. So here's that special 3, trigger masochism, so that I can place some plasmas. And it really doesn't matter. They're gone. Actually, not even sure why they're not there. Oh, because I had a heal block. No, I'm not sure why they're not there. And about here, realize, all right, let's just focus on pausing. So now we're just going to pause. We're not going to throw special attacks. I don't dex the special 2 at all. With the armor ups, I can block and take very minimal block damage. And here we go. This is where the real fight started. This is where we got our head out of our butt. We're halfway through the fight timer. So really we're just upping the entire Alliance's fight time with the shenanigans we pulled the first half of this fight. So now he's just going down smooth. We don't have to worry about anything. Getting near the end. Last special 2. And then that does it. So should have from the start just got the heal block up and then just constantly paused the rest of the fight and we would have been fine. So we didn't have any fights later. Sinister here, section 2. Sorry, we didn't have any more fights in section 1. Section 2, Sinister, we placed the heal block here because we're not going to worry about parry heavying. There's not masochism. It's not like a conduit bug would happen, but there's no point in starting with the wrong one. And here I can actually play around with the plasmas. So I'm going to get a heal block up. I'm going to maintain it. I'm going to keep pausing it as we build to our special 2. And my game plan here was hopefully to get this special 1 out. He decides not to throw it. So instead, I'm going to use my special 2 to push him past his special 2 so that we don't have to worry about these plasmas getting thrown back at us with special 1. And we don't have a concussion here since her ability accuracy can't be modified by mutants. So now the game plan is to turtle at the end of combos so that he can get pushed to special 2 and I get parried, he gets parried. It's all awkward. He gets KO'd. So I made Magneto interesting. I'm going to make this Terrax interesting. And this is where I just felt like I couldn't parry a couple times. And you saw that Omega Sentinel fight was fine. But probably these larger champs with their quick light attacks when they're close just really couldn't get the hang of it here. So the game plan here, Terrax, is conduit. But I'm never going to knock him down until I throw the special 2, and the degen from the special 2 should KO him. So I'm just going to parry, combo, sometimes parry back off, just to build light and to avoid this rock field damage. Now that the rock field's expired, we should parry there, and we don't. That kind of sucks. So he throws that heavy from far away. That kind of sucks. So I decide to bank the light energy there. Here we're getting close to the special 3, and I tried to parry there. Got the parry there. Need one more. Got it there. We evade counter into special 2, so we did exactly what we needed to against the wall. I would have liked a little more dark energy, but we were cornered, and we were very close to getting pushed to special 3. So now I can't knock him down. Now I need to just combo him out and get the parry there. We're fine. I'm going to back up. Miss the parry right here. Oh, no. Evade counter. Miss the parry there. Getting smacked. Can't get a parry here. Great. Combo. And we just made it super sketch. So, just, I don't know what was going on, but that was that. And then the only mini boss I had, and one I usually have, is Mangog here. We don't have Mr. Fantastic. We couldn't work it in. But since it's a rank 3, I wasn't too concerned. We're going to parry 3 times, and on the 3rd parry, we're going to heavy. And then if we've got room, we don't have the Petrify from Mr. Fantastic. If we've got room, we're going to parry 1 more time, and I believe we do. And I slowed this down because there's a part in here where I made this interesting. So unfortunate misparry there led to a heavy. Gets us cornered a little more, but we throw the heavy there. Have room. I decide to parry, back off, evade counter off a blocked hit. Fine. Combo 3 times to back up, make space. I don't get any parries here. I wasn't trying, but I do try here. We get the parry there. Now I'm against the wall. Tried to parry there, missed. Not going to retaliate there. Ends up throwing special 1. Fine. Parry that hit. We're good. And here, parry. I'm going to evade counter off of my block here. And you're going to see Mr. Negative throw his block up. Apparently I missed the special attack button, which led to a dex, which led to me throwing the special 2 with the dex, which led to Mangog having a special 2. And I've already practiced this fight enough to know that I can take 1 special 2 to the face. But as long as I dex the first hit, it'll give me a little more wiggle room. So there we go. We survived this special 2. And now I'm just building light energy to get to my 2nd special 2 to finish this fight. Throwing in extra heavies than I would in the beginning just to kind of knock them out if I can. And this would have done it if I had to throw the special 2. So we came out with the victory there. But definitely the sketchiest war I've had so far. BG1 only died once to their 1, so we actually tied their battle group. We did, however, win this whole war 10-1. So we're kind of on this back and forth of like give up a lot of deaths, give up few deaths. But we are sitting near the top 3 right now, so season's going decent so far. Not likely to get first place at all unless some miracle happens. But yeah, we're halfway through the season. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next video.